Hello guys, welcome back to the next video in our Roblox scripted tutorial series. In today's video, we got loops. There are three main different types of loops in Luau, and each one has their own different functionality and different purposes, so we'll go over that. What loops do is they run conditionally or they iterate over amount of times that we specify. They keep repeating until a specific condition is met. And these are going to be extremely important. As you can imagine, there are many use cases within loops. A while loop runs as long as the condition is true and is extremely fast. So a while loop can be noted like this. Let's get rid of this. And I have this reference to my spawn location. Let's keep this for later. So store a variable for yours in your game as well, or any part for that matter, as long as it has a position value or data type, I should say. So let's write, to denote a while loop, we say while, then our condition. I'm just gonna say true, because as long as the condition is true, then it'll run. And true is always going to be true. However, don't run this. If you do run this, you'll see what happens to your computer. We'll just do a print statement, hello. And let's put a test.wait 1 second. And this is going to yield the script 1 second before going down here. And if you have any code past this, well, then the while loop is actually going to obstruct the code from ever running and coming down here, because it's going to infinitely run this code. So you can think of a while loop as like an if condition, except this condition will just keep running over and over. So let's actually see what happens in the output. So we have hello, hello again, and hello, and hello, and hello. And you get the gist. This will keep running forever because true is always going to be true. Here's another way to write a while loop. Let's make a variable, and let's call this number, and let's call it 0, or define it as 0. And we'll say while number is less than or equal to 5. And then we're going to say number plus equal to 1 in the while loop. So every second, the number will go up to 1. And let's print out number. So we have number initially as 0. And we're saying as long as number is less than or equal to 5, well, then we're going to loop through this 5 times, basically, because it's only going to get up to 5 and never run again. So every second, number will iterate by 1. And it'll keep doing that until it reaches 5. So let's see it in real time. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And that's... okay, I see what happened here. That's because we set it equal to 5. Less than or equal to 5. And that means once it got to 5, it went up to 6. So if we just got rid of this equal to, then it'll be while number is less than 5. And then once it reaches 5, it'll check again and be like, oh shit, it's at 5. Don't go again. And that's a while loop. You can see how this is useful for many different things in games. For me, I use it to autosave in my games. So I'll say something like, well, at the bottom of the script, we'll say while test.wait 60 seconds, every 60 seconds. And this is another way you can write the while loop. Instead of putting the test.wait in there, we can actually put it in here. However, if we want a condition, then we'll probably put it in here and then the test.wait outside. So let's actually do that. So while true do. And then we'll say test.wait 60, and then I'll have some sort of function like autosave or something. And then yeah, every 60 seconds in our game, we'll automatically save the player's data. And now it'll run in the background as the player is playing the game. Pretty nice thing to have, keep it handy. Then we're just gonna say, well, here we go. And yeah, you can think of a while loop as long as the condition is true. Let's keep doing this. So it's great for moving objects smoothly because it's gonna run like very fast. You can think of it for combat, I guess, too. Like, you can think of many different things for while loops. But they do just run really fast. And they're extremely performance heavy. So be careful. Make sure to have wait statements in your while loop. Always have a wait statement in your while loop. Another loop is the repeat loop. So now we're just going to write repeat loop. And a repeat loop just is like a while loop. However, it's going to run first without checking the condition first. So we're going to just repeat. And then our condition, or no, repeat until a condition is met. So until false. That's a weird condition because false and never. Yeah, okay. We'll actually make a number. Local n is equal to 0 until n is equal to 5. How about that? And we're just gonna repeat n plus equal to 1. And I'm gonna test.wait this. And actually, it's not a good example. Let's do it like this. Test.wait 1 second. And yeah. And this is going to repeat this, n plus 1, and wait a second until n is equal to 5. And the only real difference between this and a while loop is that a while loop will check the condition first until run, while a repeat loop will run and then check the condition. You see how we have the until last? Our condition is last. So if you want something to run at least one time, a repeat loop is something pretty good to use. If you used any other programming languages like C++, you'll know this is kind of similar to a do while loop, which is something like this. Or really, it's like, yeah, like, you know, it's a little. I haven't done a do while in a minute, but it's really just it'll repeat a condition over and over, and it'll start with our actual code block, and then check if, oh shit, we got to do this condition. And yeah, that's really a repeat loop. And then the next one, this one is pretty important. You're probably going to use it forever. And there's two ways to iterate in a for loop, so make sure to pay attention. For loop runs a certain amount of times, and it's very fast. So it runs basically as many times as we set it to. So here's how to actually denote a for loop. So we could say for I, and I is a basic like indication of any variable. It just means like integer. So we can say for I or index is equal to 0. So we're basically making a new variable is equal to 0, and we need to do comma, and then this is our condition. Like, what is our condition going up to? So and then I is less than 10, and then how are we going to increment this? We're going to say I plus wrong language, I plus equal to 1, or we can actually sorry I'm thinking of the wrong language. Like this, yes. I is less than 10. I is equal to 0. I is less than 10. Oh shit, wrong language. Sorry. Damn, I keep doing that. Sorry. I keep forgetting the language. Sorry. So for I, so our first condition, what are we initializing it to? I is equal to 0. So we're starting at 0. And then we're finishing at 10. And we're going to go up by 1. Now you can, theoretically, you can also do it like this. So negative or negative 10. Or actually, no, we can just do it like 10. And then we can say 1 and then negative 1. And this will work the exact same. So instead we'll be starting at 10. We want to maximize at 1. And then we're going to go down by 1. So it's going to go negative 9, negative 8, negative 7, negative 6, negative 5. And this is really useful for counting down. So let's actually write down a count loop. So for I is equal to 0. And let's count up to 5. 5. And if we leave this blank, this third argument in here, the incremental argument, it'll automatically sub in for 1. So I is going to go up by 1 every time. So now we're going to actually print out I. And let's do a test.wait because this is supposed to be a countdown. And in countdowns, we usually wait a second before each countdown. So let's actually see it in real time. Or actually, you know what? Let's say print countdown started. Let's make this more practical. And then we'll say I seconds until intermission. How about that? Now it feels like a real game. And this is something I use in my games. This is exactly how I do it really. I just count up to this to basically 5, and then I say, well, then now it's 5, let's do this. And then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Oh shit, that was the while loop, sorry. Countdown started 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 seconds until intermission. There we go, nice. That's something to keep in mind. The while loop will actually block all of this code from running if it's still in this while loop, which is pretty annoying. So make sure to have it in a different thread, so like alongside your code, like on the bottom or something, so it doesn't interfere. In different videos, we'll actually show how to make this while loop using, something like this to run without, like we'll put the while loop inside of here, and this will run without actually interrupting our code. But this is for an advanced series, so stay tuned for that. But it is possible to make the while loop not interfere with the code. But yeah, we've seen this countdown started. 0 seconds till intermission. 1 second till oh shit, okay. Probably not 5 seconds, 4, 3, 2 until intermission. We probably want to do it like counting down, not up. So maybe instead of until intermission, we could say like until game starts, like that. Or not game starts, it'll be a different thing. We'll probably just do it like negative 10 and then 1, negative 1. This makes a lot more sense. And sorry, not negative 10, regular 10. And now it'll be 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4. Whatever. And just give it a second. It's going to go to it. Oh, yeah. N is equal to 5. We never print it out. So this loop also did the same thing. How annoying. Yeah, 5 seconds, 4 seconds to intermission. And that's a really basic way for a for loop. There is another for loop, but we'll get into that in a second. So now we can also say, like, if I the index equal to 5, then like print 5 seconds remaining, something like that. Just to give players like some sort of like call to action or something. But you know, there's a lot of things you can do with this for loop. Countdowns, counting up. You can also make parts with this as well. So let's say 4 I is equal to 0, 5, and 1 do. And then we could say like instance.new, or we could say part. So let's make a new part. Local part is equal to instance.new part. And then we could say part.parent is in the workspace. And then we'll say part.position is equal to spawn location that we referenced above us, .position. And yeah, we'll actually just do that. Or we'll actually just make the parts anchored, so we can actually see them. And they're gonna collide anyway, so let's spawn at the spawn location and let's see what happens in these. Oh shoot, the repeat loop is gonna stop us from going down here, so let me comment this out actually. Okay. Now we see this one part right here, and let me see, yup, we have our 5 parts right here. They're all stuck together. So I'm probably gonna do something like this. So this is a great way you can actually use for loops as well. You could say position plus and then a new vector 0 I, so the number 0. So it's gonna raise up by the number in studs. So let's see how that looks. That'll look, that's gonna look interesting. I should have probably added that by something, but yeah, we made a nice little brick. So this is actually 5 parts right here, and you see that? We made our own wall using a for loop. Isn't that cool? We literally just said, hey, raise the vector 3, the y magnitude or the y position on the y-axis up by the amount. So first stud, first part, so raised up by 1 stud, then second 2 studs, 3 studs, and then if it starts from right here, it's gonna go up and then up, and you see how they're all the same size. And that's a really cool way to use for loops. Now, here's another way to use for loops. This one's gonna be interesting. So this is how we can actually for loop in elements and tables. Oh wait. Yeah, no, I just realized you guys don't even know what tables are yet if you're watching this video. Okay, never mind. When a new video comes out, when the tables video comes out, we'll actually use them, or for loops with those. There's a different way to for loop within tables, but for now, be aware of this. You're gonna say like in local table is equal to this. In table do. And I should probably say like table v. Something like that. And this is another way to write a for loop. Now, this, don't be worried about this yet. This might be shocking to some of you, like, what the hell am I looking at? This will be explained in a different video, but this is out of the scope of this video for now. But this is really simple. And it's actually really useful. And it has the same components as like a regular for loop where we say like 4 I is equal to 0, 5, 1 do. The components are about the same. There's a starting condition. There's our max conditions, all our elements. And this is, well, we don't increment. We just kind of do it in here. But this will be for a different video. And I'll teach you guys how to do this in a different video. But that's out of the scope. And yeah, that's really about it. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. While loops run as long as condition is true. A for loop runs a certain amount of times that we specify. And a repeat loop is just a while loop that runs before checking the condition. So it's going to run at least 1 time. And that's really about it. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. See you guys in the next one.